All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Richard.lesperance. I go by the name of my man Richard. Welcome to A Better Lifestyle. Today, I have the pleasure to have Olivier Mankondo. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right.
Yes, Olivier Mankondo, yes.
Great. So Olivier is doing some great work in the health sector, and I think you guys are gonna be very blessed with this episode. Just before I start, I just want to make a small disclaimer that if you have any health issues, it's better before to take any decision to consult your doctor. So that's what I wanted to say before you take any decision in regards to the topics that we're going to talk about. So please, Olivier, tell your story, a little bit about your story, and we'll get started.
My story started. For the time being, I'm in the UK, and I grew up in Africa. And over there, when I was growing up, there was no computer games, there were no video games, and we were forced really to play outside. We were forced to run around, play football, climb trees, and so we were always in movement. And I was not exposed to too much animal product, dairy product, and processed food. So when I was growing up, I was very lean. My problem started only when I left my country. I went to South Africa, and then I came to the UK. And here I was really exposed to a lot of animal product, dairy product, processed food. So, for example, at any meal, I will have some kind of animal product. For example, in the morning, I will have maybe some salami, some eggs, something like that. So, and then, for example, at night, until midnight, I will still have my bottle of Coca-Cola with some biscuit and stuff like that. So I was always eating something. And because of that, my health got really bad. And I remember before 2016, I went to the doctor, and I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. And the doctor told me that I'll be on medication for the rest of my life. And even though I didn't know what I know now, but at that time I said, no, I can't go on take medication for the rest of my life. So I refused that. And apart from that, I was suffering from massive headaches every day or every other day. And in fact, I had to have some painkillers in my wallet all the time because of that. I had dandruff, chest pain, back pain, abscesses, joint pain, and a lot of dental problems because of my bad eating habit. And as well, I was always tired. For example, on the day that I had to go to work, I will drag myself out of bed. And on the day where I was off work, I will sleep until 1 p.m. So that's how my situation was before I got into this lifestyle change.
Okay. So you talk about the dandruff. What causes the dandruff?
Yeah. So what people need to understand is that when we eat the wrong food, our body will have to bury a lot of toxins in the body, in the tissues. But when the body wants to get rid of toxins and stuff like that, it will do that in multiple ways. It can do that through skin eruptions. For example, you can have eczema, you can have skin rashes, you can have psoriasis, you can have things like that, or you can have diarrhea. And another way for the body to get rid of toxin is to give you give you dandruff. So that's the way the body is trying to expel all the toxin that has been buried in your tissues. So that's how the way does that. And usually what people will do, instead of saying that the body is trying to get rid of toxins, people will take some kind of medication to prevent the body from doing that, which is really not the right way to do. It's like, for example, if you have diarrhea, it means that your body wants to get rid of stuff that normally don't have to belong in your body. But when you take the medication to stop that, you are basically not doing the right thing. And that's what I can say about the dandruff. So it's the way for the body to get rid of toxins, and that's what the body is doing that.
So you talk about a plant-based diet. So what's the difference between plant-based, being a vegan, and a vegetarian?
Yeah, so when you look at people who are vegetarian, what they do, they don't eat any animal products, so they don't eat fish, chicken, meat, and all that, but they will still continue to have dairy product like cheese, like milk, yogurt, ice cream, and stuff like that. And when you look at vegans, it's people who don't eat any animal product and they don't eat any dairy product. And now the difference between someone who's on a plant-based nutrition and someone who is vegan, it's the fact that what I've noticed is that a lot of vegans, they eat a lot of vegan processed food, a lot, like fake meats, like tofu, like so a lot of vegan processed food. But when you are plant-based nutrition, what you mostly eat is whole food, things like fruit, vegetables, legumes, grain, nuts, and seed, stuff that you can find in nature and not the man-made food. So that's basically the difference between vegans and plant-based. But as a vegan, you can still eat a lot of plant-based nutrition. But what I've noticed is that a lot of vegans, they eat a lot of vegan processed food, which is very, very bad.
One thing that might be an obstacle for people to go into that direction is it might cost more money to go plant-based. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so what I have to say about that is that when you look at people, they've got the money to upgrade their iPhones every year. They've got money to buy cars to upgrade their cars. They've got money to buy big TVs. They've got money to buy Gucci bags and stuff like that. For that, they can fund the money. But all of a sudden, when they have to prioritize their eating, then it's become too expensive. And that's what I don't really understand. So people need really to prioritize what they want in their lives. And when you look, for example, at when you look at the plant-based nutrition, yes, it will cost you a little bit more to eat that way. Because when you look at the animal product and all that has been subsidized by the governments, that's why it costs less. But for the fruit, the vegetables, it's not the case. It costs a little bit more, but what people need to understand is that they can save in the long run. For example, for me, since adopting this plant-based nutrition, I've been able to reverse all my chronic diseases. So I don't suffer from high blood pressure anymore. I don't have joint pain, back pain, all these things have completely disappeared. And for the past 8 years, I've not been sick a single day, not even a headache. And for the past 9 years, I've not taken a single pill, not even a paracetamol or an aspirin. And you can see that by just doing that, I've saved myself a lot of money. For example, for people who can, they suffer from diabetes, for example, they will have to buy the medication. It costs a lot. Some people will have to go through a very expensive surgery. So by just prioritizing what you have to do with your money, if you can pay just a little bit more on the food, you're going to save yourself a lot of money with expensive surgery and expensive medication. So that's what I can say to people. So if they can find the money to upgrade their phones every year, I'm sure they can find the money to be able to buy the good food for their bodies. Because at the end of the day, we've only got this body. And you have to make sure that you're in good health, because there's no point of you owning all these things if your health is not good. If you have to go to be in and out of hospitals, that's not a good thing to do.
A lot of us are misinformed in regards to diabetes and high cholesterol. Can you go a little bit deeper about in that? Because diabetes, sometimes people don't understand what's the roots that causes. Sometimes they say it's sugar, but it's more than sugar. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So I will start first with the high blood pressure. So what's happening is that for high blood pressure, when you go to the doctor, they will tell you that, oh, we don't know the reason, or they will tell you it's genetic. But what's happening is that when you eat the wrong food, like all the animal product, the processed food, and the dairy product, it's going to cause lesions in your arteries. And the body will see that now you've got lesions in your arteries. The body will now start to produce cholesterol in excess to try and patch all those lesions. And the more you are eating all this wrong food, the more the body will have to produce cholesterol. And you can understand that after a time, your arteries will shrink. The diameter of your artery will shrink, and the body will have difficulty for the blood to circulate everywhere. And the body, in its wisdom, will try to make sure that the blood goes everywhere. And that's why the body will raise up your blood pressure. So in fact, when your body is raising your blood pressure, it's something good for your system, because the body wants the blood pressure to go everywhere. The blood to go everywhere. But by taking medication to reduce to raise down the blood pressure, you are not doing something which is good for your system, because people just want to see the numbers, but they don't know why the body is raising the blood pressure. So if the body is doing that, it's for your own good. And the only way, or the simple way to be able to reverse that is not by taking medication, but it's by looking at the root cause. And the root cause is the food that you're eating. If you stop eating the wrong food, what is going to happen is that your body will see that now there's no need for the body to produce cholesterol anymore. And because the body is self-healing, it's going to start reducing all this cholesterol with time. And you will see that your artery will become normal as usual. The blood will start to circulate normally, and your blood pressure will be gone completely with no medication. And that's exactly what's happened to me. I didn't take any medication, just by reducing stopping the food that were causing all this high blood pressure. My high blood pressure was completely gone. And for diabetes, what's happening is that a lot of people will tell you as well that it's the sugar and stuff like that. And they will tell you that it's running into your family. That's why you've got diabetes, but that's completely wrong. What's happening is that when you eat animal product, because here for the diabetes, it's the animal product which is the culprit. When you eat animal product, what is going to happen is that the fat will go into your cells. And what's happening is that every time when you eat something, the body will produce insulin, and insulin will act as a key, in the sense that when the insulin is produced, it's going to send a signal to the cells to open up so that the sugar can get into the cells. Because whatever you eat, your body has to transform that into sugar. And now that if you continue to eat all these if you continue to eat all this food, basically what will happen is that the body will not every time when the insulin will be released, because of the fat inside the cells, that signal will not work anymore. So the cells will not know that they need to open up for the sugar to get inside. And you will understand that with that, there will be a buildup of glucose or sugar in your bloodstream. And with time, basically, you'll be declared as diabetic. But what people need to understand is that if you stop eating the animal product, the fat inside the cells will go away. The insulin will start working properly, in the sense that every time when the insulin will be released, the cells will understand that they need to open up. The sugar will get into the cells, and your diabetes will be gone. And that's exactly what people need to do. For example, my brother, he was already pre-diabetic. I introduced him to this plant-based nutrition, and is no pre-diabetic no more. So that's what people need to understand. That's the cause for the real reason why we're suffering from high blood pressure and diabetes.
Is there such thing as good sugar? Because when I was doing some search on the internet, and to have fruits, if people are diabetics, what fruits are good for them? And some, like you have grapes and stuff like that. They say grapes is not too good because it has carbs and all that. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, so what people need to understand is that every time when you have fruit, the fruit are the food biologically designed for the human mechanism. That's the perfect food by excellence. So when people are saying that, oh, I'm diabetic, I can't eat fruit, that's completely false. Because what people need to understand is that you've got what is called the It is called the way, for example, when you eat you eat the fruit sugar, the sugar from the fruit. What is going to happen is that uh, it's not bioavailable, which means that when you eat a piece of fruit, for example, it's not going to go straight into your bloodstream. It will go first to the stomach. The stomach will have to digest, and then it will go to the small intestine. And in the small intestine, you've got stuff which is like hair, which is called villi. And this will be will be able to extract the sugar into the bloodstream, and you will have a very small amount of sugar into your bloodstream. But when you eat refined sugar, which is bioavailable, which means that as soon as you eat the refined sugar, then it's going to create spikes of insulin. So it's the sugar, the refined sugar, which is bad, but the sugar from the fruit, they cause no problem. And what people need to understand, which is called the load of the sugar, the glycemic load. The glycemic load is basically the way, the speed at which this fruit will get the sugar from the fruit will get into your system. And when you look even at grapes and stuff like that, you can see that the glycemic index is can be high, which means that how fast the sugar will get into your bloodstream. But when you look at that, you will see that the glycemic load is very low for all the fruit, which means that the impact on the glucose, the sugar glucose will be very low. That's what people need to understand. So there's a big difference between the fruit coming from the sugar coming from the fruit and the refined sugar. This is completely different. Yes, if you eat the refined sugar, it's going to have a very bad impact on your system. But when you eat something like the sugar from the fruit, it's not going to have an impact. For example, for me, I remember I was not pre-diabetic yet, but the sugar in my blood was very high, was already high. But now, for example, I eat every day. I eat fruit, but my blood sugar is gone down. So that's what people need to really to understand.
So what is, I'm not sure if you said about refined sugar. What are some example of refined sugar?
Refined sugar, you can take, for example, the sugar from cakes, the sugar from sweets, the sugar, for example, from white bread, all the sugar coming from all the processed food. That's what is called a refined sugar. The sugar from the fruit is the one that you need to take. But all the sugar which not come from the fruit are called refined sugar. So like I've just said, ice cream, it's a refined sugar, sweet, refined sugar, cakes, white bread, all these things, all the processed food, the sugar from the soda, all these are refined sugar.
So what about refined carbs and carbs?
Yeah, that's again another difference that people need to understand. If you eat, for example, something like sweet potatoes, yam, all these things are just normal carbs. They're not going to create any problem in your system. It's the refined carbs that got a problem. When you look at refined carbs, then yes, you will have stuff like flour. Yes, the flour, for example, that they use, the white flour, all these are refined carbs, and they are not good for the system.
So what about the bread if you buy whole grain bread, but it has carbs in it, is it good or it's bad?
Yeah, when you take the brown bread, it's a lot better than the white bread, but I will still eat that very moderately, because at the end of the day, they are not whole food. And every time when you take food which have been made by human beings, you need really to be mindful of that. So for me, even if it's a brown bread, I will still eat that sparingly. It's not something that you need to have constantly.
So what about, I just saw this weekend organic bread, brown bread. Is that good? It was in the organic section.
Yeah, even if you look at even if it's organic, but it's still man-made, which is completely different from food that grows in nature. So if you can see the food that grows in nature, that the food that we are normally biologically designed to eat. But even when you look at bread, it's still made by man. Even if it's organic, even if it's brown, it's still made by humans. So you still have to take that with you don't have to eat that constantly.
So how do you know which is good and which is not good? Because if they say organic and you say some are organic and some are not, so how do people make the difference?
Yeah, so when you look at something which is organic and something which is not organic, basically just by the look at the food, you won't be able to know if it's organic or not organic. Basically, you will have to trust the farmers or the place where they sell all these organic or non-organic food. You will have to trust them. But what if you look, for example, at fruit? There are some organic fruit and non-organic fruit. But what people need to understand is that the best choice will be to eat organic fruit always. But if people cannot afford to buy organic fruit, they can still buy the commercial fruit, and they will still have some benefit. Because for example, for me myself, it's not always that I eat organic fruit or organic. The grocery that I buy is not always organic. I can still buy the normal one, but I was able to reap a lot of benefits. So people don't have to be phased out if they can't buy organic food.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back because I like bread. So if let's say I'm eating a salad and I want to eat bread, so there's no bread that I could eat that is safe for me, or they're all bad, even if it's brown bread.
No. What I'm saying is not that it's completely bad. What I'm saying, for example, no go. It's a white bread. White bread, don't touch it. But if white brown bread which can be organic or non-organic, yes, you can still have that. But my point is that you don't have to overeat brown bread or organic bread. So if you, for example, if you want to have, like you said, you like brown bread, yes, you can have that every day. You can have that every day, but my point is you don't have to eat too much of it. But you can still have brown bread. That's fine.
So because I'm just starting on the plant-based journey. So what if someone is eating the salad, what can they have on the side? Because just the salad alone won't fill the person or my stomach. So what can someone add on top of that?
Yeah, so if, for example, you can have a salad, first of all, you can have a lot of stuff. You can have your salad with, you can have lettuce, you can have cucumber, you can have cucumber, you can have tomatoes, you can put some radish, you can put some beetroot. There's lots of things that you can put. But if, for example, apart from bread, maybe what can you use? You can maybe add some kind of soup. To try to fill you up. For example, you can have potato soup with lentils, or potato soup with kale, or something like that. So you can still add those things to make you full.
I know you do intermittent fasting, so talk to us about that.
Yeah, so intermittent fasting is something that is very, very important. So when you start eating plant-based nutrition, if you would like really to speed up your results, you need to incorporate intermittent fasting, because in the society, we've been told that we need to constantly eat. There are people who will eat 5, 6, even 7, or even more meals in a day. But what people need to understand is that every time when you eat something, the body will produce insulin, and insulin will basically create a cellular aging. You will start aging very fast if you all the time your body is producing insulin. And when the body is producing insulin, it cannot produce another hormone, which is called the human growth hormone. These two hormones cannot be produced at the same time, so it's one or the other. But when you look at the human growth hormone, it's there to basically it is for the growth of all the tissues in your system. So it's very, very important. So all the time when you are digesting food, the body won't be able to produce the human growth hormone. And what is people need to also understand is that every time when you are digesting food, the body cannot do the healing and cleansing process, which is very, very important. The body needs to do that. And every time for people, for example, who are eating constantly or snacking all the time, the body won't have the chance to do the cleansing and healing process. And basically, you will be sick very easily. And as well, it's like, for example, if you've got your car, if you bring it to the garage, you can't drive it at the same time. So the body cannot do the healing and cleansing when it's digesting food. And when you are doing intermittent fasting, the body will go through a process which is called autophagy, which is a process where the body is eating its own waste, which is very, very important. And when you do intermittent fasting, you will have a very strong immune system. Your body will be able to regenerate very quickly. You will slow down your aging process, and you will extend your lifespan. It's like, for example, there was an experiment which was done with rats, and there was two groups of rats. There was one group where we were overfed, and the other one was fed very less fed. And the scientists at the end of the experiment were able to see that the rat was less fed were able to live up to 50% more than the overfed rat. And when you look, even for me in my own case, the way I've been able to slow down my aging process by just eating this way, a lot of people, when they see me, they think that I am in my late 20s, but I'm actually 54. So I've really been able to slow down my aging process just by eating the right food and incorporating intermittent fasting. I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I said, I know you filter your water. Is the water that you buy at the store in the bottles, like, is that water good, or you still have to filter it?
No. For me, when I look at the water that they sell in bottles, basically they are dead water. They've got no life energy. They are empty. They are stagnant. It's like, for example, if you go, you look at stagnant water. In those water, you can see that a lot of bugs can grow over there. For example, if you look in Africa, for example, if you've got stagnant water, you will see mosquitoes and stuff like that will be able to grow in that kind of water. So when you've got stagnant water, it's something that is not very good. And when you look at the water in bottles, they are stagnant. They've got no life energy. And apart from that, for example, they can be made maybe 3-4 years ago. But when you drink them, they will still taste like water. So they put lots of coloring, additive, preservative, which are chemical substances not recognized by the body, and they create havoc. So drinking bottled water is not a good choice. What you need to do, you need to take your tap water and you need to filter that, because in the tap water, they've put fluoride and chlorine. And fluoride is basically those two components, chlorine and fluoride, are very bad for the system, and they are carcinogen. They give cancer. And for people, they need to do their own research to see if what I'm saying makes sense, because we've all been told that, oh, you need fluoride to have good teeth, but that's completely false. If you eat the right food, the food biologically designed for the human mechanism, you won't suffer from tooth decay and stuff like that. So what people need to understand is that they need to drink filtered water. The only exception that I do is when I go to Africa, then I will buy some bottled water and I will put that in a water filter. That's the only exception that I do, because over there the water is not very clean. That's what I do. But when I'm in Europe, I always use filtered water. I don't use the bottled water.
So that's a lot of work for everybody then. if the waters, because people buy a lot of those waters in the grocery stores.
Yeah, but what I think it's for me, if you have to buy the bottled water all the time, I think by buying a water filter, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. You're going to save yourself a lot of money because you just buy the water filter it's a one-time purchase. Yes, you will have to buy the filter cartridges, but you're going to save yourself a lot of money instead of buying all this bottled water. Maybe every week you have to buy that. But for example, for me, I've got my water filter, and I need to buy the filter, I think, twice a year. So for all this time, I'm only using that the filter cartridges, which will last me 6 months. So for those 6 months, if people have to buy for 6 months, they need to buy bottled water. They are basically wasting their money. And on top of that, this water are not good for themselves, for the system, because like I've said, in those water, they put additive, coloring, flavoring, and preservative, which will create havoc in your system. So it's not good anyway. They need to filter the tap water. That's the best choice if they want to be in good health.
Yeah, so both waters are not good, the one from the bottle and the one from the tap. Well, the one from the tap, everybody knows that water is not good. So
yeah, but when you take the water from the tap, then you need to filter that. So you take the water from the tap, and then you buy a water filter. You put that water inside that water filter, and you drink the water coming out of that water filter. That's what people need to do.
all right. Like I said before the recording, I would like to do a part 2 because I still have more questions, and we're running out of time. Where can people follow you?
Yeah, so if people want to follow me, first of all, what I would like to do is to give your listeners or your viewers, I would like to give them my 7 tips to lose weight, which are the same exact 7 tips that I've used myself to lose 77 pounds. And I would like to give them free of charge. So I will give you the link so you can put that in the show note for them to take advantage of that. And people can also, if they're interested, they can buy my book, which is The Plant-Based Nutrition, How It's Going to Change Your Life, which is available on Amazon. Or they can go on my website, which is oliviermankondo.com. That's oliviermankondo.com. Over there, it's cost less, and they will be able to have 4 more bonuses. And for people who would like to dive deeper, they can book a discovery call with me. And on the discovery call, basically, we'll be able to explore their goals, their priorities, and their health concern. And we're going to discuss their diet history and have a look at their current lifestyle, including their routine and habits. We will also go through, going to see, to identify all the limitations and change them so that we can create a plan of action to overcome all these limitations and set them on the path toward achieving their short and long-term goals. And also during the call, we're going to establish if there's a good fit. And if that's the case, then there will be an opportunity for us to work together so that we can fix all the issues that's been troubling them for a very long time, once and for all. That's what people can do if they want to really get in touch with me.
Are you on social media?
Yes, I'm on social media, so people can, I've got a YouTube channel, I'm on TikTok, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter, so X. I'm all over the place, so they can just type my name, Olivier Mankondo, and they will be able to see all my content.